Wednesday when they lost at home to Enyimba. And I think we should commend the LMC for being bold enough to take those decisions against Kano Pillars, because people are beginning to ask questions that Pillars is a sacred cow that can be punished by the Lane Management Company for crowd violence.
Toby will agree with me that the LMC did well. We are looking at them, on Wednesday when that incident happened. We said it here on the program that the driver to the coach Polai Bogun had bloods all over his body. His head was broken. They threw missiles. And
even at the match officials.
At the match officials. So, and this was a team that a few days earlier went to Akure and got a victory against Sunshine Stars. The players took pictures. They had interviews. It was a conducive atmosphere. So I think the fans of Pillars, yes, very fanatical. They love their team, but they should also draw the boundary. They should not put their team into trouble, because if anything happens and they are banished, the players are left on their own with the management. Some of the fans are not going to travel with the team. They are not going to face the brunt. So I think they should sensitize their fans.
I think one of the most interesting part of that game was to see section of Kano Pillars, fans with placards saying, "Guys, let's stay off, violence."
Yes. I was going to come football, to that. The chief security officer of Kano Pillars, the chairman of the Kano State FA, and some of the top officials of Kano Pillars were also actively involved in mobilizing these fans to behave themselves.
Really.
So I'm happy that kind of a thing is there, but we should be doing a lot more to prevent those ugly sides to the game.
No, a lot more. Oye just said it. I mean, just a few days before that game, they had maximum 3 points in Akure, and it was a peaceful atmosphere for them. So why reacted? When the champions, came to visit and they got the maximum 3 points. We all know Enyimba or any side could get a point anyway, and you could psychologically, it's really, after the Kano Pillars were against the Ikorodu United, I expect them to score more than 2 goals, and Ikorodu United they were cautious. They were not free. I mean, but the most interesting thing now is that the fans really understood that this is football. They would culture themselves.
You can win some.
In the
you
future,
lose some.
And Ganaro said it after the game. I listened to his post-match reaction. He said their fans should be patient. That this is football. They can go all the way on the road to get points, and they can also drop points at home. I mean, all the 20 teams in the NPFL this season have dropped points at home, including the Rangers who dropped points at home against Shooting Stars over the weekend. So you should know there's only 100% home record anyway. You need to play well. You need to deserve to win. And you could see what happened to them against Ikorodu United. At some point, Ikorodu United were taking charge of proceeding. And Pillars came back. They scored a brilliant goal through Rabiu Ibrahim. I beg your pardon, Rabiu Ali. And they got the maximum 3 points. If they had played badly, they could have ended that game maybe a 1-1 draw or Ikorodu United getting the winner. So the most important thing for you is to play well. If you play well, you get the result. If you play badly, you won't get the result.
All right, let's take a look at the table now. This season promises to be very, very exciting, really. Because when you take a look at the table and you take a look at the teams and you take a look at those who are putting pressure, look at Rangers on top, just 1 point ahead of Pillars. And then the same number of points with Abia Warriors, and then you see Wiki closing in, Lobby Stars, Rivers United are really, really pushing hard. Ifeanyi Uba, MFM, Aqua United, Atlant, Enyimba, Warri Wolves, Pt.2 United, Sunshine, Nasarawa United, United Tornadoes of Mina. Shooting Stars are in the bottom 4. Academy Warriors also there. Giwa are 19th. And then Ikorodu United. It's a very tough league. Only very tough league. And the teams will be fighting for their lives right from now till the end of the season.
Absolutely. So, for the teams in the last 4, they need to start getting some points to save them from relegation waters. Then on the top is pretty difficult. We had Pillars showing the stuff they are made of. They have quality, and they are showing it. Rangers do drop points against Shooting Stars. Bobby Clement and the other guy, we are missing, but that's not an excuse. You must have depth, if you want to win.
If you want to win.
Must have depth, and Enyimba is showing it. Thank God, scored the second goal for them, and this is his second game. He has not even played in the Champions League. This is his second game. And he has fit in very well with Chinedu Doji in the central defense. And he's scoring. He has scored 2 goals in 2 games. So if you want to win the title...
Thank God he's a goal-scoring defender.
Yeah, if you want to win the title, you must have depth. You must have players, 2 or 3 in each department. So Rangers really do not have any excuse.
Yeah, I tell you, one side a lot of people are not talking about is Abia Warriors. You need to give kudos to them this season. I mean, they have been brilliant. They've picked 9 points on draw more than any other teams. This season, 18 points at home, massive one for them. With just 1 point behind Rangers, that they showed what they've got quality in there. Kennedy Boboye doing great job this season. The management also have really done their own bit, and I mean a lot of people should keep on their highs on Abia Warriors. They try to hang in there, and they might just call a shocker. Eyimba is back on track. Eyimba is just 8 points behind Rangers.
And they have outstanding games.
And they had about 3 games, outstanding 3 games. So if Eyimba in the mix, Kano Pillars, Abia Warriors, Rangers, I mean it's still going to be a difficult race for Rangers. If Rangers will win this league title, I mean they need to put everything into this.
Let's talk about one more club that Toby didn't mention, Rivers United. Only at the beginning of the season, they were struggling, really struggling. The government came out with a 3-game ultimatum, and that was the turning point for Rivers United. They hammered Rangers 3-1, and then they've gone on the road. Bernardo Voke, that guy that you see on your screen, scoring the only goal, and beating the Warri Wolves by 1-0 in Warri. Now they're really pushing up. And the interesting thing is that has turned things around for them, because Governor Nyesom Wike is very happy with the team. He has released the funds for the outstanding sign-on fees for the players from the 2013-2014 season, and the boys can be smiling to the banks now.
Yeah, I remember interviewing Eguma when they came to play MFM, and he complained that he didn't have enough players. But I think along the line he was able to find a way, solve this problem. They cleared some players, and they are scoring. Bernardo Voke, you remember, played for Bayelsa United last season. And he's a Warri boy scoring against his hometown.
I had to give him standing ovation.
Yeah. The motivation is huge. When you pay players, then the buck stops on their table. It's not their responsibility to ensure that the team wins. So you cannot really blame the management. So for the players, they now have to reciprocate by also winning. Eguma has been there for a long time. Sometimes playing on the continent, winning the Federation Cup, former FA Cup.
Yeah, won a league title also.
Yeah, he won a league title. So I think he's an old-timer. And for Rivers State, we want to say kudos, showing the way forward to him. You don't have to owe your players. When you employ these players, you have to pay them so that you now tell them that, gentlemen, the ball is now in your court.
Yeah. Well, for me, government is a continuum. So for me, it's a case of the Rivers State government was owing these boys, and the Rivers State government have paid these boys. But at the same time, it won't be fair on us if we do not give credit to the Rivers State government.
Yeah, they deserve it because
and Boma Yayi for what they've been able to do for these boys. But it is not what you have done now that we can really commend you for, but what you do all through the season.
Sometimes when you commend people for good work, they'll be motivated to do more.
Yeah.
I think that should be the message.
Okay.
I mean, and for the environment we have, we heard a lot of stories in the past when the new government, comes in and will tell you, we inherited most of this debt we can't pay, and for this current government, they do everything humanly to make sure they pay. Most of these players still play at Rivers United. Some of them have really moved on. I think Joseph and Ataya now play for Shooting Star. So they'll be happy to come back, collect their cash. And then for the players playing at Rivers United, it is a big motivation for them. And at this point, where they're getting result, it's very huge. And you really want to say, kudos to the commissioner for Bumoya, the governor. They've done a great job, and I mean this could really spoil them more into the season. We just hope they can just build on from this, and they've really done a lot of things this season. Sometimes Rivers United they flew to most of their away games, so they're doing a lot of things. And I mean it might just be those season for Rivers United.
For me, the reason why they have been able to do this is because now it's only Rivers United that is. There in the past, when they had Dolphins and Archers,
very difficult to run.
It was difficult to run two professional clubs in the same league. But now Rivers United are enjoying all the attention, and you can see they are justifying it with the results that they have. But it's still early days for me. It's still early days. We commend them, but we keep our eyes on them and hope that they can continue this way till the end of the season. Well, for lovers of domestic football, there will be games this Wednesday, midweek matches, and guess what? Agege Stadium on Wednesday will be welcoming the champions. So Eyimba will be in town on Wednesday. All right. Maybe we will be presenting sports tonight from the Agege Stadium on Wednesday. We don't know, but just make sure that you prepare for that game. MFM against Eyimba on Wednesday. That's March the 16th.
Yeah, March the 16th.
March the 16th of the Nigerian Professional Football League. But guys, let's just read a few comments very quickly. This is an interesting one. Joseph Ashikpo at J Ashikpo 1969 says we have lost Chief Francis Ayegbeni, boxing promoter and the owner of the Rovers in Ibadan. that is passed on now. That's killed me. When did this happen?
Yeah, I saw the story yesterday, Tony.
Wow.
A very sad story. You know, he used to be a great promoter of boxing in Nigeria.
And a supporter of shooting stars.
Supporter of shooting stars and a great businessman in
Wow.
Ibadan. You know, I learned he has been sick. He has been down with stroke, according to the story I read. And you know, we can only wish his family and the boxing family, you know, wish them the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss, because this is a man. You know, remember Joe Lasisi, the other boxers that he helped promote. This is a man that put his money, his hard-earned resources in promoting sports, especially boxing and supporting shooting stars. So it's a huge loss. I'm so shocked that even his death is not
well everywhere.
publicized. You know.
No, okay, all right. May God rest his soul. That's Chief Francis Aigbeni, boxing promoter in Ibadan. All right, let me read a few more comments. Anthony Ade at Wallace Villa, I'm sure he's watching us from the United Kingdom, talks about how God has helped us to survive what will have been a tragedy, monumental tragedy in Kaduna. And he says, henceforth, we should be moving our crucial games to bigger stadia. Yes, that could be a point. But then how many of them have the facilities that the Eagles want to play on grass?
Even in terms of capacity. Abuja, 60,000 fans won't come. It is just obvious.
Abuja fans don't come to watch.
Fans don't come, maybe because of the distance of the stadium.
But no matter what, whether small or big, security and good planning.
Good planning.
That's
I think one of the mistakes we made in Kaduna was throwing that gate open for free. You know, it was a ridiculous, you know, decision as far as I'm concerned. When it comes to the Super Eagles, you need to allow fans to pay.
And a game like that,
you know, raise ticket to like 5,000, 10,000. This is an opportunity also for the
number of those who come to watch.
Yeah, you know, but you know, people will always come.
Even when you want to throw the gates free, still make sure that the fans get a ticket to come in. Because the tickets are numbered to the number of seats we have, and once the tickets are exhausted, then you.
But you know,
they are going to overpower the security.
Yeah, because
the best way is to increase gate takings. They are going to overpower security.
Because we were there in Kaduna, even the governor struggled to get in. I was there with Demola J, the NFF, you know, head of communication. We passed through the public stand to the media stand. So
you were part of the crowd.
I mean, it was a different
you stampeded your way in.
It was a different experience.
All right, Kevin Amata, our very good friend who watches us from Benin City, says Governor Adams Oshomole, for all he's been able to do with the Okwakwa road race, should also look at insurance of Benin. All right, that's his own message for Mr. Governor. And I think I'm told that that's the bit that we can also take on the program tonight. But guys, I think we talked exhaustively about all of this. Don't forget again, Wednesday, tomorrow we'll be giving you the preview of matches to be played on Wednesday in the Nigerian Professional Football League, March day 16. All right, so just keep a date with us tomorrow, and we'll be giving you a bigger and a better show. That's Sports Tonight, guys. Thank you, Onye. Toby, thank you. Yemi Adebayo was here earlier. And of course, thank you to you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the night. Bye-bye now.